Day one of Giants training camp is in the books, and we got a lot to talk about. Russell Wilson, Jaxson Dart, Malik Nabers, Cordell Flott, and Deonte Banks, an official position battle. We're going to break it down on today's show. But with training camp here, that means the regular season is right around the corner, and we're just a couple weeks away from preseason actually being here. And if you're ready for Giants game day to be back in your life, go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Training camp is here. One of my favorite days of the year. It feels like football is finally back, even though we got to wait till training camp starts. We'll get into all the offense and defense and Jaxson Dart and Russell Wilson. But let's start with the injury news. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll took the podium this morning, and they let everybody know that Andrew Thomas should be ready for the opener, and they are expecting him to be ready for the opener. And that word expecting and expectations, that just makes me want to vomit. Because every time I hear Joe Schoen, well, the expectation is this, and Brian Daboll is the expectation is that, it's never really the expectation because expectations can change. Hopefully he's going to be ready for week one. We need him out there. Said it 1,000 times on this channel. If 78's not healthy, nothing matters at the end of the day. So we'll continue to monitor that. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that thumbs up icon if you want more training camp videos like this. Let's dive into it. Team drills took place in the red zone for the Giants today. They usually do this on the first day of OTAs, mini camp, and training camp. They don't want these guys running all over the 100-yard field their first day there. Get their legs under them and just get a feel for things. I thought we'll start with this because Jaxson Dart started with this. His first pass as a New York Giant in training camp, it went the other way for 6. Tried to throw a little quick slant to the left side. Nick Jones, slot corner, was playing a little bit more inwards towards the hash and literally just jumped the pass. Dart kind of said, F it, I'm going to squeeze it in there, and it didn't work out for him really all that well. Got it out of the way, though, and he bounced back in a really nice way. Kind of pulled like a little Tony Romo, escape from the pocket move, rolling out to his left. Then he threw a nice little teardrop ball to the left part of the end zone to Theo Johnson, which was good to see. When a rookie makes a mistake, you want to see how they bounce back. And for Dart, the very next play, to get right back, throw a touchdown, it was good to see. Not the best day for Jaxson Dart. We'll talk a little bit more about him, but let's get to Russell Wilson, who I thought did have a good day. Again, it was in the red zone, so a lot of these passes are going to be touchdowns that are completed. But I thought the timing, the anticipation, the touch on the ball, and really just Russ putting it on a spot where the receiver didn't have to slow down. He didn't have to catch the ball on his back shoulder. He didn't have to stop. He was able to maximize yards after the catch on the throw. This one to Wan'Dale Robinson was an absolute dime. A little corner route to the back left of the end zone. Russ threw a really pretty ball. Really good at those touch throws. Good to see Russ find Wan'Dale and build that chemistry. We also saw Malik Nabers and Deonte Banks kind of go at it in one-on-one settings in the 11-on-11 drills. A couple of fade routes between these two guys, and Deonte Banks actually got the best of Malik Nabers on the first one. I personally thought the route from Malik Nabers was bad. I thought it was lazy. I thought it sucked. I tweeted it out. People are coming at me on Twitter. Whatever, I don't care. I thought it was lazy. And just because you have a fade route doesn't mean you hit 1-2 shuffle and get to the back right of the end zone. No, move the corner off the spot, give him something to bite on and get to the spot. The ball was maybe a little bit underthrown by Russell Wilson, but Nabers didn't really give him a spot to throw the ball. Because if Russ did throw it to Nabers' outside shoulder, he wouldn't have been able to get 2 feet down to the back of the end zone. But they went back to that same action. Instead of the right side of the field, the left side. Kind of still a shaky route from Nabers. One of the things I want to see him improve on is red zone route running. I still remember Nate Wiggins against the Baltimore Ravens locked him up 3 times in the red zone, and I want to see him improve that. But he got the best of Banks here. Literally just fade on the left side, and Banks was on the back hip of Nabers. Russ put it on the back helmet of Banks, and Nabers just kind of plucked it off the top of his dome. So it was good to see that. And then we started to see the fireworks go off. Nabers scored again on the last play of practice on a slant from Russell Wilson from the right side, working towards the middle of the field. And they really just are starting to get to know each other because Nabers didn't really work in the spring. He didn't go to OTAs, or he went, but he didn't practice. They were kind of taking him slow with that toe injury. And it was cool to see that after practice, Russell Wilson and Malik Nabers and some other players at the skill positions stayed after practice and got to get some work in. Russ also hit Nabers on kind of like a play-action bootleg to the right where he threw the ball to Nabers in the flat, and he got skinny up the sideline. I'm going to call it a touchdown. Some other people have said he would have been down at the 1 or 2. I think he would have barreled in for the end zone. I'm calling it 3 touchdowns on the day for Malik Nabers. A good start to training camp for him, a guy that didn't do anything all spring. And sometimes talent, it's just going to win out in the National Football League. Russ also found Tyrone Tracy over the middle of the field for a touchdown. That was in 7-on-7 drills. They did a little bit of 7-on-7. Russ threw 2 passes. Dart threw 2 passes, Jameis threw 2 passes, and they transitioned to 11-on-11 stuff. I want to give a major shout out to Bobby Skinner of the Giants Nation show. He's at training camp. He's crushing it there. Shout out to him, and also Talking Giants and all the people with the boots on the ground there. They're giving us the info on Twitter that we're able to do these videos. Bobby's saying this: Russell Wilson training camp day 1 stats. He accounted for only 11-on-11. 9 of 15 he had Russ at for 2 touchdowns. I had him at 3. I think that Nabers touchdown was going to count. He got him at 2. Said he hit Nabers on a fade over Deontay Banks and then a slant on Cordell Flott. Was either quick throws or check downs. 6 of 9 completions to tight end, running backs on check downs mostly. And that's what's going to happen in the red zone. There's not a lot of room to work. And it's good to see a quarterback get to his check down and go through his progression, because we saw a quarterback for far too long just throw to his check down like it was the first read. So nice to see Russie work through his progressions and get the ball to the right spot on time. Unfortunately for Jaxson Dart, it was not a good day. And look, you're a rookie. It's day 1 of training camp. You're working in a condensed field with a lot more speed than you've ever seen. I don't care if it was the second team. This isn't the SEC. This is the National Football League. And when the field shrinks in the red zone, it's going to be tough. And Dart saw that. 1 of 5. He did have that touchdown to Theo Johnson. He also threw a touchdown to Nick Jones. Only thing is he plays defense. First day, and it was a red zone period, so limited space. Was just late on everything. Pick 6 to Nick Jones, forcing his first read. Also had a fumbled snap exchange under center. They also gave him 1 snap with the first team offense. I was unable to find out how that play went, but I like Brian Dable keeping Dart on his toes. And look, that's how it works if an injury happens on Sundays. You got to go out there, and you got to prepare like you are the starter. So good work to have Jaxson Dart go out there when his number maybe he didn't think was going to be called. The pass rush was disruptive. And this is good and bad news, because we've talked time and time again how this defensive line is going to need to carry the Giants. If the Giants are going to win games like we are all hoping they are supposed to do on Sundays this year, the defensive line has to be dominant. Brian Burns made plays. Kayvon Thibodeau made plays. Abdul Carter made some plays as well. The Giant Insider podcast and newspaper on Twitter said Tibbs off to a fast start, would have had a sack, and should have drawn a holding flag. Kayvon Thibodeau beat James Hudson, who was in for Andrew Thomas. Obviously, Thomas did not play today or practice, so it was James Hudson getting those left tackle snaps. What was interesting to me was Evan Neal was getting first-team reps at right guard. And I'm not shocked or surprised that he was getting first-team reps, but at right guard, because all spring long he was working at left guard. And you saw him and Greg Van Roten somewhat alternating at that right guard spot with the first team. And then when the twos got out there, the second team offense took the field, Evan Neal was then working at left guard. So I absolutely love this. They're cross-training him at either guard spot, trying to find a home for him and just making sure that wherever he needs to go, he's comfortable and can hopefully do a better job than he has in his NFL career. Maybe the most interesting thing at a training camp today, Cordell Flott. He got the first team reps at the outside corner spot opposite of Paulson Adebo. It wasn't Deontay Banks. We then saw Deontay Banks the very next period get first team reps as that boundary corner opposite of Paulson. But we talked about a training camp battle starting to brew. And long way to go. It's day 1. We got many weeks until the season starts. But I think it's noteworthy that Cordell Flott, in the first practice, first rep, he was the starting corner over the third-year first-round pick out of Maryland. Hopefully that's a kick in the butt to Deontay Banks, and he gets it rolling. Because if he is good, that means his team is going to be better. James Hudson, like we talked about, got those first-team left tackle snaps with Andrew Thomas being placed on the PUP list. He was the swing tackle that they brought in NFL free agency from the Cleveland Browns. They gave him like a 2-year, $12 million deal, so decent coin for a swing tackle, and hopefully he's able to play and play better than he did when he played right tackle for the Giants, and he got absolutely torn up by Brian Burns. We also saw Roy Robertson-Harris was the starting defensive tackle next to Dexter Lawrence. There was a lot of talk this offseason. Who is going to be that starting defensive tackle next to Sexy Dexy? Is it going to be Darius Alexander, the rookie out of Toledo, right off the gate? Is Rakeem Nunez-Roches going to hold that spot down? Will we see Jeremiah Ledbetter, the former Jacksonville Jaguar, get those reps? But it was Roy Robertson-Harris getting the first opportunity. Job's not settled. It'll continue to be a battle to see who wins that spot, but we got our first look at who it might be. We also saw Greg Dulcich have a really nice catch in traffic over the middle from Jameis Winston, who's kind of in the right slot, ran a little bit of an out route. Nice hands catch, fought through traffic, got north, ate up green grass, and got in the end zone and scored. And that was pretty much it. As I'm going to check the rest of my timeline here to see if there's anything else. Malik Nabers says his toe that kept him off the field all spring feels good. He was a full go today. He admitted the possibility of having surgery on it sometime in his career has been up in the air, meaning it's possible, but he hasn't seriously considered it. Don't really love hearing that, but good to see that he was a full go today. Nabers said Dart likes to hang with the wide receivers. We go to dinner. Nabers says Russell Wilson is a great leader and one of those quarterbacks that gets everything going. Dexter Lawrence talked about how he challenged the defense, saying a lot of people are talking about our defensive line. We haven't done anything yet. We got to go out and do it, and I want that to happen. I want Dexter Lawrence to be more of a leader. I'm tired of losing. I know he's tired of losing. He doesn't want that to happen anymore. Malik Nabers says they have a great plan for his toe. Just trying to make sure you guys get everything you can from this video. Russ is a great leader. Toe is good. We have a great plan to manage it. I wonder if we'll see Malik Nabers maybe take some days off in training camp to try to manage that workload. But that's about all we got at this point. Dexter Lawrence said he challenged the defense before camp began and didn't hold back. Everyone's talking about the D-line, but we haven't done anything yet. You don't win games on a depth chart. You win games on Sunday. If you want more videos like this where we're just breaking down practice and getting you guys the info as soon as possible, hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you're taking advantage of this deal that we got. This shirt right here is 50% off. It was $40. Now it's $20. Go to this link, chatsports.com/Giants sale. Make sure you follow me on social media as well. The first place you would have heard about all of the Giants training camp news, highlights, and happenings is on my Twitter. So give me a follow there. And if you want more short-form content on Big Blue, hit me up on Instagram.